Good evening, everyone. John Henry Soto here. Welcome to What I'd Say. Tonight's show, we have a special show tonight. We're going to be talking to real estate agents. This episode is called Fast Track to Building Your Brand in the Industry. And this is my face. This is my brand, I guess you would call it. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I really appreciate it. My purpose is always to help people to better understand these different platforms and how to utilize them to build your brand and to really strengthen your business. And that's why I do this. I'm here every Thursday night at 10 p.m. Central, and we are live, by the way. It is now 10 p.m. Central, and today is January 13th, 2022. Very blessed to be here today and to be here with you. So, okay, because this is fast track, like I said at the beginning, I want to make this fast. I don't want to spend a long time dragging things out. I want to kind of give you the data that you need in order to advance and to be able to utilize these platforms to the best of your ability and to get better. If you're already on social media and you're like, I'm already on social media, well, there's some stuff here that you might pick up. If you don't like social media, if you're like, I hate social media, well, then this is definitely for you. And I'm very glad that you're here and I'm talking to you. All right. So we're going to be covering a couple of different things. We're going to be covering different platforms, obviously, right? We're going to be talking a little bit about patience, right? Patience with social media. It's a big thing. I think a lot of people don't really implement that into their, not in, especially into social media, but also just into their careers and into what they're doing. Patience is very, very important. We're going to be talking about how to be the king and queen of your domain, of your brand in your community. We're going to be talking about mindset. We're going to be talking about different elements of social media. And I framed it a little bit different here. I'm going to have slides and stuff. So I'm going to be doing slides and talking over the slides and stuff. So I think it's going to be a little bit different. I will be taking questions. This is live, like I mentioned. So if you do have any questions, you can just pop them into the comment section there. If for some reason I can't get to them, I will answer them. You can also email me if you'd like. If you have any particular question that you really want answered, or if you want me to expand on something, you can just send it. The email is right there. I'll leave it there for a few minutes. It's John Henry Soto at protonmail.com. And I'll be more than happy to answer any questions you may have on what this presentation is, right? Okay, so this is live. I'm talking fast because I want to get a lot in. I do have my tea here. So every once in a while, I have to drink a little tea just to get my voice going. But I'm very excited that you're here. So let's get started right with the presentation. And I am a one-man band here. So let me pop up this first graphic. So we're going to be talking about social media, obviously, and of course, I left my my email address there, which covered everything. So, as a real estate agent, what are we heading into in 2022 and beyond? And I guess this is the question that a lot of agents are having. It's obviously, we all know that this has been completely unprecedented as far as real estate market, business, and every business on the planet has been affected by what's happened in the last few years. So predicting where we're going in 2022 is extremely difficult if you're looking at statistics or if you're looking at, different certain trends. We just don't know. But we do know a few things. And a few things that I'm going to cover here are extremely important in knowing that you are empowered. You have the power to communicate with your community, with your team, with everyone that you actually run into. You're able to then link up with them again via social media. And if anything positive came out of this whole craziness for the last couple of years, it's the fact that are more comfortable on Zoom meetings. They're more comfortable using technology and bringing people together. And when I look at technology, you can have a negative thought about technology sometimes. I look at it in a positive light. I say technology brings people together. I have family all over the country, and I get to see the kids growing up, their kids. They get to see my kids growing up. It's a very wonderful thing if you utilize it correctly. A lot of people get upset with social media, right? Because it's used kind of it's watered down, right? But it's a very, very powerful tool for business. And that's what we're going to be going over today. So first, you're probably wondering, if you've never seen me before, if you've never seen any of my content, you're like, who is this weird guy with the hat and this thing? going on? What's happening here? Well, I'm going to spend just about 2 minutes just to tell you a little bit about who I am. My name is John Henry Soto. I was born and raised in the South Bronx during the 70s and the 80s. The 70s, we had, if you're familiar with the Bronx, we had the big fires of the 70s. In the 80s, we had, drugs and which decimated the community that I was growing up in. And in the 90s, mid 90s, I got to leave. I'm a musician, so I got to go out and play some music and work for different businesses in New York City and Manhattan, where I was living for a while. I'm a musician. I had a band, recorded a couple of albums. We had a few successful songs playing on a local radio station. That ended tragically. We lost one of our members to a weird illness thing, which was tragic. But we missed him so much. We just really could not go on with the group, and the group dismembered. No, we just broke up the group. And after that, shortly after that, I got into film and I started acting in front of the camera. I got interested in behind the camera and writing. And today I'm a filmmaker. I also have a couple of film right now in the festival circuit doing its thing. And I do a lot of social media. I do a lot. I had a company that I'm starting today, actually a brand new company here in Nashville where I'm living right now, a social media company to help businesses better utilize social media and video content to expand their brand and to build their brand. And I'm doing that. And I'm here in Nashville right now with my wife and my 2 kids. We just got here about 5 months ago. Very excited to be here in Nashville. By the way, I had this before I knew I was going to move to Nashville. I always wore this hat. You can go back and look at my YouTube videos from a couple of years, and you'll see that I've always had the hat on. But it just fit perfectly, right? I was like, hey, I'm in Nashville. Why not? So that's a little bit about me. You can also go to my website and learn more if you're interested, or just John Henry Soto, pretty much on all platforms. You can find me and see my content. Some of it is wacky. Some of it is a lot of it is inspirational, and a lot of it is hopefully helpful. That's my purpose, is to really be helpful. So let's get started here with why we're here. All right. So the wonderful world of stats. Isn't stats wonderful? So 47% of buyers search online first, and only 18% contact an agent first. 97% of home buyers searched online homes at some point in the shopping process. Danielle Hale, chief economist at Realtor.com, says buyers will likely be able to get more for their money in 2022. That's good for some people. It's sometimes a little tough for inventory, but that's still good news for the buyers. And in April of 2021, the median national home listing price grew by 17.2% year over year to $375,000. Okay, now let me just say something about stats when we're talking about social media. We do look at some stats in social media. There's the algorithms, there's the analytics, there's all those things that we have that we look at, all the different metrics that are important to know what you were doing and seeing if you're growing, if your content is getting better, if you're gaining the numbers that you're interested in. All that stuff is fantastic. Now, what I want to say about stats, just 2 words for this presentation: forget it. Forget it. We are not going to be diving into stats. Stats are great. I know you're thinking, you're like, wait a minute, John, what are you smoking something funny over there? We love stats. Stats are just, I can taste stats. No, we are not going to be covering stats. Why? Because those stats that I just read to you are a specific thing, part of the industry. Yes, you will look at them and you will say, oh, okay, this is the information I need. You will retain it and then you move on. Social media is a consistent daily activity that you have to get around. We have some stuff that we're going to go over, some tools that you're going to be able to utilize to get your head wrapped around why content is important and how to utilize the content and how to be consistent. That's a huge thing in social media. It's consistency. Gary Vee says, and if it's anybody read the description of this talk, Gary Vaynerchuk, who's a very, 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 very famous social media guru and just entrepreneur, amazing entrepreneur. if you listen to him, he basically said, if you're not posting, this was a talk that he did to real estate agents. He said, if you're not posting 7 to 12 posts per day, you're basically, and that's only just scratching the surface if you're not doing that at minimum. So there's a lot to do for those that aren't posting at all, right? But I'm here to make it easy. That's why my job is to present this in a way that's going to be completely easy for you. And this company here, Appreciated Content, it's content you can actually use. That is my purpose. I'm the social media guy. I'm going to give you things that you are actually going to be able to use tonight. Well, maybe not tonight because it's kind of late, but maybe to first thing tomorrow morning. You're going to jump on that. Have a little question here from someone. Brian says, thank you. Brian says, you're a podcast beast. I appreciate that. Thanks, man. Cool. So, all right. So I'm a beast. Let's get going with the with this presentation here. So now here's something. I said forget it, right? And now I'm going to say patience. Please, please. When you're talking about social media, one of the biggest things that I see is that people don't have the patience. I was hired once by someone for 1 month. 1 month. They gave me a fee for 1 month. And I said, fine. I said, I'll take the 1 month and I will do as much as I can for 1 month. Within 2 weeks, they didn't see enough results and they backed out of the contract. Now, normally I have a contract, right? Like every business does. But I don't like to be like, well, you have a contract. So, I don't want to go that route. So I said, fine, no problem. I got paid for the 2 weeks that I did do. And that was fine. But patience is the key here. The same company right now, their social media game is extremely weak, and they're not leading the way they should be leading because they're good, and that's really the purpose of social media. It's to show people, hey, I'm good. Look, this is something that's going to help you, So please, please, please think of patience when we're talking about this. And if you think it's a lot of work, it's not going to be a lot of work. There's going to be some studying involved, but not a lot. This is a part of your business that you should care about. It's the marketing department of your business. It's not a thing now that your teenage kid does. It's not a funny video. It's not a picture of your latte or your food or vacations. It's that, but this is really a part of your business. That's recreational. That's all fun and good, but this is really part of your business. So you have to take this as part of your business and take it seriously, not too seriously where it's not fun, but seriously enough. So why are we here? It's because of this word right here that you probably have been hearing a lot about. It's called branding, right? What is branding? Well, branding is, and I'll give you a quick definition here. Well, that's not it at all. Where's my branding? Oh, okay, it comes later actually. All right, so we're going to talk about branding. So what is branding? Branding is taking who you are, introducing it to the world, and getting the confidence in that audience that when they actually do meet with you, they sort of already trust you. You're building trust before you get in front of anybody's face. Can you imagine how powerful this would have been 20 years ago in businesses, in real estate, when you can actually get in front of an audience? You can get in front of your buyers, of your sellers, before they even decide to call you. Why would they call you? Because they've been seeing your content. They've been getting the confidence in who you are. And when they make that phone call and they hear your voice, it's sort of like they're sort of seeing like this celebrity in a way. It has that type of feeling where, oh, I remember him. I remember her from her post that she did, from that wonderful walkthrough that she did, or from that presentation that she gave on the market, the current market. I remember that. And this actually is branding. And how you actually present yourself is your personality. Now, you may say, some people will say, well, John, I don't really want to put my life out there. It's like, it's not but there are ways that you can put out enough content on who you are where you're not really giving away any personal information. You have to understand that people are visual. People are interested in what other people are doing. This is why we're on the planet, right? We're here to help each other. We're here to explore, to experience who we are and to expand as a culture, as a nation, as a planet, right? As a species, we want to advance. So this is extremely important for you to understand that you're not giving away any of your personal space. You're sharing some of the things that you love with other humans, and that's a beautiful thing, you know. Now, at the bottom here of this, you'll see Spotify, you'll see my company. If you decide to actually hire someone to come in and help you with your social media, you have Facebook, you can do Facebook ads. That's the Facebook ad. That's the Meta, right? They changed their name to Meta. So that's Meta. You have YouTube, of course. You have Twitch, Twitter, and TikTok. A lot of T's going on there. And so these platforms are just, 6 that I just threw on there, or 5 that I threw on there. Mine doesn't really, I'm not really a social media platform yet. But, and of course, Spotify is here as well. So Spotify is running ads right now. A lot of people don't even know what you can do with Spotify. And I'm going to do a whole presentation on that in the future on the power behind Spotify and what they're doing. YouTube ads are extremely powerful. Facebook is always going to be a tool, no matter what you think of Facebook and all of the downsides that you may point out. And I'm, trust me, there are some. As far as a marketing tool, as a marketing company, they are extremely powerful, and you have to pay attention to them. Twitch is a live. The purple thing that you see there, it's a live feature. I'm live right now on Twitch, on my Twitch account. Twitter, of course, I'm live right now on Twitter as well. And TikTok. TikTok doesn't have a feature that I can connect to yet, but I do a lot of content on TikTok. TikTok, people may say, oh, that's for young people. And, I don't, I've been on it and I see it, just young people. Well, if you're on it and you're understanding that you're on it and that others like you might be on it, well, then there's a market. TikTok right now is probably the biggest advancement right now for marketing right now is TikTok. These things all go away, right? The shelf life of a platform is not long when it comes to engagement for low price, for low cost. So Facebook, for instance, Facebook many years ago, you can put an ad on Facebook and you get all this all this amazing stuff, and you're like, wow, and then of course they changed their algorithms, they changed their platform a little bit, the ads, they created a whole huge giant business management section where you can place these amazing, very specific ads targeting exactly what you're looking for, and you shell out a couple of bucks and you get more engagement, right? So the price of Facebook is going up, 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 because big companies now are realizing this is the way to go, so they're throwing all their cash in there. We knew that was going to happen. We said that 5 years ago that was going to happen, and here we are. The other platforms that you saw on there, YouTube, same kind of thing, very costly, but very powerful when you learn how to use it. Twitch is more of a live platform. It's just really for live streaming, what I'm doing right now, which is a good tool to have, but it's not necessarily the same as the others as far as marketing. They do have a marketing piece, but it's not the same. Twitter is sort of where you go to listen. You don't necessarily have to go. You can go listen. You can go follow your favorite brokerage. You can go follow a realtor. Like I follow Tom Ferry. Everybody knows who Tom Ferry is, right? Tom Ferry, the legend, right? I follow a lot of Tom Ferry's content on Twitter, and he'll post like a 2-sentence thing on a really positive affirmation or a motivational thing, and he's just a great source, not just for real estate, but just for viewpoint, for a mindset, an operational way, all these things. So I follow him on Twitter a lot. And then we have TikTok, which I mentioned earlier, and Spotify, which I'm going to talk about. So by now I'm mentioning all these platforms. You're probably thinking to yourself, well, this is what you're looking at. You're seeing all these things, but we're going to actually go over 5 simple slides that I'm going to present and talk about that are going to give you tools that you will be able to tomorrow morning start your fast track. And by the end of the weekend, you'll be ready. You will be out there. I guarantee you. And if you are not, message me and let's talk about what happened and I will help you get there. Okay. Because there's always going to be a learning curve on some things, but it's never going to be, you just have to confront certain things, and I'm there to help you and to guide you any way that I possibly can. So let's go to the first slide here. Our first slide. Now, this is what I'm going to say to you all. I want you to sit down as a first thing, sit down with yourself in a quiet space and honestly ask yourself, what am I good at? Right? Because not everyone is good at everything. I'm a decent writer, but I'm not a good writer. I wouldn't write. I'm better in front of the camera. So I do a lot of live streamings. I do a lot of these things. And if you look at the list here, I just threw these up there, 10, but I'm sure there's more that I missed. There's writing, blog. Let's say you're a good writer. There's writing copy for posts. There's pictures. You're a photographer. You can take amazing photos. That's an amazing thing. People love photos. Instagram is a great tool for, actually, I don't even have Instagram on there. Instagram should be on there as well on the list that I had. Instagram is great for photos. Taking videos, not necessarily being in front of the videos, but doing video content, taking, going out with your camera and taking a video of a beautiful sunset or a party that's going on or a concert or something. You're really good at taking videos. Public speaking. Some people are good at public speaking, right? Presenting in front of the camera, kind of like what I'm doing right now is a live stream. I go on camera a lot. When I was in New Jersey, where I moved from, I did a lot of on camera. I did hundreds of clips, probably thousands of video clips, but definitely hundreds of shows. Just putting myself in front of the camera, and trying to get better. This is something that I wasn't born this way. I'm a little Puerto Rican guy from the Bronx, and I had to work my way to try to figure it out. And if you look at some of the first videos that I did, were pretty rough. As a matter of fact, here's a picture that you can see, and here's a photo where this is you could see on the one side of the screen is where I started, what my video looked like and what I looked like. And then when I moved over and kind of developed a little bit more of a brand and started getting better equipment and realizing the importance of that, right? So let's go back to this slide that I had here. So it's something that I worked on, right? With camera, and you do it, and it takes what it takes. It took me years, to get to this point now, and I still have years to go. I'm nowhere near where I want to be. Hosting network events. Some people are great at networking, and they go out to events and they can, either host them or just go to events and meet people. And that can be something that you can do for social media, live streaming, what I'm doing right now. And of course, a podcast, which I will take this right now that I'm doing this presentation, which has some visuals. So it's going to be hard for a podcast, but I will turn this into a podcast and that will go out as well. And of course, the last one is sort of like a joke, door knocking. Now, door knocking was a very, it was a very popular thing, right? People were always door knocking, and you get teams together and you go around the neighborhood and you find out if people want to find out how much their house is worth, free of cost, right? We do a CMA, and we tell them, comparative marketing analysis. That's what a CMA is. And you go out there and you meet a bunch of people, right? So things have changed the last few years, right? You can't just go around knocking on people's doors anymore, right? I never liked door knocking. I just did not like it. I felt that I was invading space. I don't know, but there's some people that are so good at it. And when someone opens the door, because they're confident, that person that's opening that door welcomes them, So the reason I put door knocking there is because it's something that kind of ties into all the other things that we used to do as real estate agents to market the business, right? Newspapers, billboards, mailing out postcards. When email came, 20 years ago, we'll do emails. All these things work. The newspaper ad, right? You get a paid newspaper, like $1,000. Sometimes it would cost you to have a newspaper, but everyone's eyes was in the newspaper. So obviously it's an incredibly valuable tool, but people's eyes aren't going there anymore. People's eyes are going to this little box, right? That's where the people's eyes are. They're walking like this, running into lakes and pools and stuff, not seeing, right? So you have to look at the old stuff and understand that stuff still works. And if you're doing it, don't stop. That stuff still works. But you have to implement this, because when you start really implementing this, you're going to see the power that you have. Imagine posting something and having 25 people just see it and comment on it. Now you may think 25 people, that's not a lot. That's a lot. 25 people for one single post that you just put out. 25 people, out of those 25 people, you can get 2 listings out of there. Somebody might say, hey, you know what? My sister is selling. My brother wants to buy a house. I want to sell my house. All those things will come up when you post simple little things. And that's a powerful tool. And if you're consistent, that person that saw your post and said, well, yeah, it's a real estate agent, but I'm really not selling. Next year, they're going to be like, hey, you know what? I keep seeing this same young lady who's always posting this real estate stuff. Let me see what she's doing. Maybe I'll give her a call, right? Because you creating a brand, you're putting yourself into their consciousness with posting and with social media, right? And you're doing it in a way that's not like, hey, here's a house. Hey, here's a house. We're going to go over that, different methods of how to actually, promote. So that's this slide here. Now you're thinking, okay, well, let's say I pick pictures or any of these things, right? And you're deciding, okay, I'm going to start doing one of these and I'm going to pick a platform. Now you're thinking, let's just say you don't know, which platform, but which one, John? Don't yell at me. Well, I don't know why this guy yelling at me. He don't know me. Which one? There's Instagram making an appearance, and the bottom you have their Blogger. You have Pinterest if you're really good at pictures and like household things like artistic things. And I don't do a lot of Pinterest. I am on there. I don't do a lot of Pinterest, but it's a wonderful, wonderful tool for people that do a lot of crafting and a lot of home projects and people who are getting married. It's a wonderful tool. Facebook, of course, and all these platforms. So you have to pick now which platform. So let's say you pick pictures. Well, pictures is Instagram. That's where you want to go for pictures. Yes, you can put some pictures on Facebook. You can put them on Twitter. But if you're going to invest your money, if you're going to invest in marketing, you want to go on to Instagram. Instagram is really where to go. Let me take a sip of my tea. Okay, so you want to actually go to where the content that you want to create is going to get the most utilized. Now, at the end of the day, you should be on all platforms, right? Somebody, people are going to say, and that is true, but I don't like to overwhelm anybody. I say you can be successful on one platform. I know a young lady who's actually only on one platform and she crushes. She crushes on just Instagram. She's a realtor and she does extremely well. She's very not camera shy. She does open houses. She'll talk about certain things, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that as well. But now the question is, when you sat down, I asked you if you can just sit down in a quiet space, right? And honestly ask yourself, what am I good at? And make a list of things that you know that you're good at, or things that you want to work on to become good at. Maybe you say, you know what? I can do what this John Henry Soto guy is doing. He ain't doing nothing special. I could do what he's doing. Well, maybe you want to work on that and work on presenting in front of the camera, or maybe you want to do a podcast and just do audio and just do that. Whatever it is, blogs are actually also really big. If you're a good writer, definitely blog. There's a bunch of other sites that you can go on as well. You can reach out to me and I'll give you the sites for more blogs. There's Blogger, which is the popular one, but there's a couple of other ones that are really great. Medium is one of them, and I can't think of the others, but there's a few of them. I can get those to you if you're interested. So after you sat down and you thought and you pick an actual option, you're going to move on to now, what are you going to do with that? So let's just say I'm going to pick Facebook for a second because I'm going to give you some examples of some of the things that I've done in Bayonne, New Jersey. So as a real estate agent, I was in Jersey. I still have my license in Jersey. And one of the things that I did with my business partner, Frank Maglio, if you're watching, what's up? One of the things that I did with Frank is we started a group, a Facebook group. And this is a screenshot of our Facebook group that we started a few years ago. And this group has grown to, if you can see, 2.6 thousand people. That's 2,600 people, I should say, not two. I don't know what I just said there, but 2,600. That's what it is. And you can see right there, that's my face. This is our page. It's incredibly useful. People engage on it. It's very, very. It almost runs itself now. We have to manage it because we're still approving posts because it's part of our. It's a private group that people get invited to, and now we're not even inviting people anymore. They're coming. They're saying, can we be a part of the page? I have a new business. I want to start promoting my business. And we say, absolutely. Here are some of the rules. We have a few rules that you have to abide by. And people have been really engaging and doing extremely well on this page. This show right now is live on this Isle of Bayonne page. Why did I put it on here? Because I have a lot of friends that are in New Jersey that are real estate agents, and I'm hoping that this will help them and help their careers. So creating a group is extremely powerful. If you can, if navigate through that. I actually teach people how to, do the groups and how to navigate them and how to, post things on them. This group is called Isle of Bayonne, right? We were living in Bayonne and we said to ourselves, you know what? We're going to create this group and we're going to engage with the community, and once the community sees you and they understand who you are, they know you're part of this page, you're always posting positive things there, they're going to reach out to you at some point for homes. And we've gotten so many calls just on people just asking us real estate questions and listings and all that, just because we post things. And sometimes we don't post real estate stuff. I mean, actually, a lot of times we don't post real estate stuff. Most of the time, we're posting like a great restaurant in town. We're posting, and we're going to talk about that in one of the other slides about what you can actually post. We took it very, very lightly with the community, and we just wanted them to know we cared about Bayonne. We don't allow any negativity, any bashing. The mayor has posted on our page. We have people from the mayor's office on our page. It's a wonderful place. It's a positive place where people can go and get information on what's happening locally in town. And for that, I'm very proud of this page. Now I'm going to go on to my personal page. I'm an artist. I'm a musician and a filmmaker. This is my Nashville page that I had, or I'm just a Nashville artist. But this is a page that I've had. I am verified on Facebook, and if you can see, I have about almost 8,500 followers on this page, and also a great page for to talk to other artists. To just say, hey, look, I've been working on this, and I want people to share their art on here. So if you're an artist out there and you just happen to be stumble upon this, join my page, or like my page. It's not a group; it's just a page. You can like it and start posting stuff and really engaging with the community. With the artist community, which is also something that I love passionately. So that's my personal page. Let me just take another sip of water because I am flying here. Hope you're all getting benefits. Please, give me a little like there if you don't mind, and send me a comment that this is of value to you, and I appreciate it. And I truly, truly do appreciate it because this is a privilege for me to have this opportunity to be here with you. Okay, so I was just talking about groups, and here's why world's biggest brands are building their communities on Facebook groups in 2022. Now, this is why I tell people you have to jump on now. These groups are going to be localized. They're going to be your group. It's going to be in your community. You're going to get people to just join your group. You're going to say, hey, are you a member of my group? You should join the group. Sometimes we put listings up there, or sometimes I'll put some great tips on how to operate, how to look for a home, how to find a good agent, how to anything having to do with real estate you can put up there, or any kind of advice that you can give, and you get people to join your community, right? And one of the common things, so it says here, what's the one common thing between Starbucks and Peloton other than the fact that people love their products? Well, both these brands have a super active community rallying their loyal customers and helping them build meaningful connections with each other. That's Starbucks and that other company, which I think it's pronounced Peloton, I'm not really sure. So members of the Starbucks owned group, they have 45,000 members and 60 plus members per post per day. That's a lot of members. That's a lot of content. That's a lot of activity going through this a product of Starbucks. You know, and they talk about everything. It says right here, talk about anything and everything related to autumn, and of course their favorite Starbucks drink. So this is groups are something that I really think, if you want to write that down, start a Facebook group in your community. Be the mayor of your content, of your real estate content in your community. Be the person that people know does real estate in your community. Build a page, put your name on it, say realtor, wherever you are here in Tennessee, realtor Mount Juliet, realtor Antioch, wherever it is that you actually work, or Nashville, you know, make a group and start inviting your friends and start inviting people that you've worked, past clients. Make sure you do that. Very, very important. All right, let's go to our third slide here. So now we have to go to school. Now we got to go to school. Oh, Lord. So go to school on the platform or platforms that you decide to implement for your business. So what does that mean in a nutshell? Well, just like anything, we all went to real estate school, right? We all had to study, the content. We all had to figure out certain things. Now, real estate is a funny business, right? Because real estate is probably the only business, the only thing that I could think of anyway, maybe in selling life insurance, maybe, but I don't think so. Real estate is the only thing that you study for a couple of weeks, you take the state test, right? You're like, right. And you pass, and now you have a license to sell any home anywhere in the state, right? It's crazy. It's like you can go out and really build a tremendous amount of financial wealth, obviously, but also you can help your community. You can build your church. You can help your local any charities that you have, your local businesses. You can become a real powerhouse with that power, right? Money isn't everything, but money does help everything, right? So you have to put that into perspective when you have a license. And there's no other real business that you can go out and get a license and suddenly you can do that, for such a short amount of time, right? So there's power behind that. That's good and bad. Sometimes you'll get an agent that just does it because they just want to crush it and they want to be rich and they're going to kill it. And they go in with and they become the agent that nobody likes, right? They're rough and they steal listings and they do things that are dishonest because they're go-getters, right? That's not really a go-getter, right? That's somebody who you don't want to be around. That's not really what I'm talking about. So there's a downside to it being a quick, a 1 month study and a test and you're done, right? But the upside, if you utilize that license and you actually use the tools of social media and you build your network, you build your community from inside out, right? It's Pete Seeger, who's a famous singer. He says, he says, think globally, but act locally, right? But think globally, right? You want to help the world, but act locally. And that's what the group does, just locally. You know what I mean? Imagine if you had like 2,000 people that you knew in the community that you can engage with every day. There's some power behind that, So again, I'm going back to groups again, but because I just really want you to understand the group section. So going to school. So we have to study some of these platforms now, right? It kind of veered off a little bit, so I'm back. So this is what you're going to do to actually get your education on some of these platforms. Let's say you picked a platform like Instagram and you're not on Instagram, or you've never been on Instagram, or you're on it, but you just really never dove in to the ads, to actually how to place an ad. So here's what you're going to do. Number one, you're going to schedule time daily to work on your social media skills. You have to put in the time. You have to. This is your business. This is something that you're going to take, just like when you sit down to do your cold calling, when you sit down to make your 50 calls a day or whatever your quota is for the day, just like you're doing that. This is part of your responsibility to build your business. This is part of your marketing department, right? And this is part of your brand. Remember, you can't really hire, in the old days, you hire a PR company, right? And they build your brand, right? They make you look the way they want to look. But those days are gone. There's still PR companies, but the PR company is going to tell you, yeah, you got to get on here and talk to your audience, talk to your people. They don't hear enough from you, right? And that's the way the business is actually moving towards. So you're going to schedule time. You're going to say to yourself, okay, I'm going to pick this. Number 2 is don't overwhelm yourself. This is another thing that happens. I can't tell you how many gurus I see out there, and they're like, you can, you get home at what? Let's say you get home at 6 p.m., right? This is the gurus talking, right? All right, you get home from work at 6 p.m., right? You have your dinner, and then from 6 to 1 o'clock in the morning, that's when you work on your social media. What? That's a lot for someone to just get in the face, Maybe somebody out there is willing to do that. I know I did that. I still sometimes do that, right? It's 10:41 now p.m. and I'm still going, right? So this is something that really aggravates me and upsets me, because it's not about that. It's about consistency and just moving forward. If you put in 30 minutes to 1 hour a day learning just one platform, you will move forward and you will learn things. The second thing is team up with a study buddy, somebody that you trust in the office, somebody that you like, that you get along with. Make sure that they are really a study buddy and not a fuddy-duddy, right? You want to make sure you get somebody that is just as passionate about expanding their social media reach and being able to set the same hours and do the same study time with you. And it's really something that it helps me a lot, having someone there to bounce off. It's an accountability thing too, right? Number 4 is start documenting your study progress by creating content. Now that sounds kind of crazy, right? As you're studying content, or you're studying social media and how to place content, I'm telling you now to create content. Well, yes, because this is part of the progress. This is what I want you to do. I want you to, if you're with your study buddy, I want you to take a picture of them and saying, I'm studying social media with my buddy Joe, and we're going to be working on this for 1 hour. If you have any questions, let us know. Send it out. And your study buddy does the same thing with you. Now you've already started, right? Now you're starting a specific thing. Maybe you're reading something, and you take a picture of the book. I'm reading this book on how to better use my social media marketing. That's another piece of content. And we're going to be talking about content and how to think with it, right? So understand that you are building your brand via social. So this is a more of a mindset viewpoint kind of thing that I want to kind of drill into you, that you have to understand that every day that you post something, you are building your brand. You are building trust, whether you see it or not, whether you understand that you are building trust every single day. So consistency is important. So if you start today, make sure that tomorrow you don't forget, put it into your phone. We have these wonderful devices that will go beep, beep, post, beep, beep, coffee, beep, beep, dinner, all these things, right? And it's an amazing tool. Use it for your social media marketing. So boop, post. Oh, I got to post something. What am I going to post? All right, well, I just had this amazing cup of coffee. I'm going to take a picture of this coffee and say, hey, this coffee is called blah, blah. I bought it at this place. It was really great. Check it out. Send. Now, sometimes people will prepare their content throughout, and they'll take pictures during the day, and then they have their content for the week or their content for the next few days. You can do that as well. All right. So you are building your brand. Okay, that's the thing you have to understand. Every single day you're building your brand. Now, what is branding, right? Well, brand building is about sharing experiences with an audience to create the highest level of trust before engaging them in person. Okay? So I'm going to read that again, because that is what you're doing. Your brand building is about sharing experiences with an audience to create the highest level of trust before engaging them in person. So how do you do that? Well, it's very, very simple. Develop a content viewpoint. You have to think of your business and what you want to accomplish in your life, the little minute things that you think are just not important. You have to develop an idea that that content is valuable. Develop a content viewpoint. Start thinking to yourself that everything that I'm posting is going to be valuable to someone. Now you may think, well, why is a cup of coffee? How is that going to be valuable to anybody, John? That's not, somebody will see that and say like, oh, I never tried that coffee before, and forget about it. But then you come back again the next day. Hey, I just got this new watch. Cool. Oh, that's cool. By the way, I just got this amazing listing, right? It's an 80-20 split, right? 80% of the time you're giving value, you're giving communication, you're engaging, right? And in the 20%, you're like, check out this house. This is an awesome house. Let me give you a tour. Call me at this number, right? As simple as that, right? Think of 80-20, 80-20. I didn't write that here because that's, people talk a lot about that. But it's definitely around that percentage, okay? So back again, content viewpoint. People do care. We care about each other. That's why the planet exists, right? We all care about each other. You can follow the news and you can see all what's happening, but you have to understand that there are way more beautiful people on the planet than there are evil people, believe it or not. There are way more of us caring for one another than anything else. So when you really understand that and you duplicate that and you have a spiritual connection to that idea, your content will represent that. You're going to put out content that people are going to appreciate. So you're not going to pull in people that you don't want. You're going to pull in people that are based around the content that you're putting out, based around the love, based around living a life, your family, the things that you really care about. That's where you're building your brand, and that is going to build the strongest brand is going to be that. I guarantee you. Okay, number 5. This is our last slide. We got a few more things, but this is the last slide. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. Appreciate it. You develop a content viewpoint by increasing awareness of your daily life, which I kind of just spilled into. That's how you basically do it. Every day you are doing something, right? Every day we are engaging in some activity. If you're in construction, you take a picture of the site, you take a picture of your helmet, you say, hey, I'm off to work, I'm really excited, life is beautiful, God bless you all, see you later. If you're coming home late, can't wait to get home, my family, I have some dinner, we're going to go out tonight, we have a birthday party to go to. You can do this either on the phone and look at the camera and say, hey, everybody, man, I am so excited. I just got out of work. I'm going to this wonderful party with some great friends. I'm really excited. I hope you're having a great night. God bless you. Take care, right? Power, right? You do that every single day. You're going to run into something that you can actually illustrate, okay? So let's go here for a second, and I want to show you. All right. So here are some of the things. This is just a list. I made 20 things that you can actually consider as content. Some of these things, I'm sure there's hundreds more, but these are what I just came up with, right? So cooking, people sometimes like to cook. You know, that's a huge market, the cooking industry. People love foodies, and you hashtag the foodies, and it's just an amazing thing. Number 2, eating out at a restaurant too. You go to the restaurant, you take a few pictures in the restaurant, you put your phone down, you enjoy your meal. When you're done, you're home and you're doing your little social media 1 hour or your whatever time you have allocated to doing your social media. You put out, hey, just ate at this great restaurant. Here's the address. That restaurant is going to be named in your post. So they're going to see that and they're going to say thank you. I can't tell you how many restaurants I've tagged here in Nashville, and they've all actually appreciated. I've also done Google reviews, and I've written reviews. They've actually responded to that. I have I think it's something like almost 80,000 views on Google on some of these restaurants and some of these areas that I've hit. Unique things about a property or a house. Whenever you go into a house, and as a real estate agent, if you're a veteran, you've seen it all, right? But every once in a while, you're going to go in and you're going to see something that's completely unique, and you're going to go, wow, I've never saw anything like that. Well, there's your content. There's your content. We saw a house. It was a modern house, but for some reason they still had this brick oven stove. Like, it was really old stove, and I was like, this is really bizarre. So I took a picture of that. That was part of my content for that day on that house. You can't just post pictures of a house. If you have a page on Instagram, and people scroll and they're just seeing houses, 3 houses, rows of houses, you're giving them a stimuli that they're not going to understand. They're just going to be like, well, okay, a lot of houses. But if you have a house, picture of coffee, I keep saying coffee, right? A picture of a park, a picture of a restaurant, a picture of a food, a picture of you saying something, a video of you saying something, and they go down, they're going to suddenly get a personality. This is a person. This is a real thing. It's not a company, a huge conglomerate company just posting whatever they want to, automated stuff, right? Which automation is good, but it's also bad because there's a lot of sites out there. There's one called Hootsuite. I think it's probably one of the most famous ones. And you can schedule your posts, and that's good, but you can schedule it like for a month and just put one post every single day for a whole month and just let it go, right? And that's good, but you've taken the humanity out of it, right? It's just going to be a picture of a house or a picture of an article or whatever it is you decide to post. So you have to kind of think with the content viewpoint, right? Are people going to respond to this picture for the whole month if they don't see me at all? If you go on vacation, that's one thing. But if you're there, you need to start in implementing your own content and put yourself out there. That's a big thing. If you're not, and at the end of the day, you don't have to do any of this, right? You don't have to. You can say, I'm happy with what I'm doing. I don't need to listen to that little Puerto Rican guy. I'm happy, right? You will at some point have to. You will at some point have to. And it depends on where you are in your career too. If you're a veteran, you've been around for a long time, you might have a really nice client base. You don't need it. But if you're just getting started, or even if you're just 10 years in, if you're 10 years into a business, into any business, you need to get on this thing. At least just look at it. Just look at it, and see what the possibilities are. Go to YouTube and type in social media for real estate. See some articles, some videos. See a lot of Tom Ferry. Tom Ferry is the king of it. He talks about it all the time. He's got one of the top training real estate schools in the country, right? He's the guy. So follow Tom Ferry. I'm always saying follow Tom Ferry. Tom Ferry is the man when it comes to real estate and content, period. All right. Let's go down this list again. New outfit. Hey, I got these new shoes. Check out these new slacks I just bought. A birthday party or an anniversary. Business training. So you go into a business training and you take a picture of the room and the training and the manual that you're training on. And there's your piece of content. Networking events. Your favorite coffee spot. Here I go again with coffee. Laundromat in the neighborhood. Favorite TV shows. A funny joke you heard, right? Make sure the jokes are clean. I'm not telling anybody how to be anything, but if you're trying to create a brand that appeals to people, you want to be somewhat, again, this is a personal thing for me. I'm not, I pretty much say a lot of things, and I do get in trouble from time to time, to be perfectly transparent. But certain things you want to make sure that what brand are you creating? What is that you're creating? Okay. An inspiring story that you heard, something that really a tearjerker that you want to share with an audience. Plans for a vacation trips, the actual photos of the trip or a video of the trip. A household tip. Hey, I learned how to clean the spot off a rug with using this thing this tool or this liquid thing. Driving directions. Let's say someone doesn't know how to get somewhere. You say, hey, I just took a trip to this place, and you have to be careful because there's construction on this thing, but you want to you want to go this way. So I just want to let you know in case anybody sees this. Local parks, lakes, trails, beaches, pools. You get the idea. Live music venues and sporting events. Sporting events, you have to be careful because sports are very emotional. You know, stay away from sports. You know, politics and stuff like that. You don't want to jump into those things unless that is your brand and you're out there doing that, and that's fine, right? But all those things right there, you have a list of 20 ideas that you can actually take and say to yourself, I'm going to do some of these today or this weekend. I'm going to grab this list and I could send anybody who's interested. You can email me again. I'll put my email address out here one more time. And actually, you know what? I have an actual thing for that. So I hope you all got some value from that. I appreciate it. Again, my name is John Henry Soto. This is my company called Appreciated Content. I'm here for you. I'm here to help you. This website, appreciatedcontent.com, goes directly to my LinkedIn page, which has a lot of content on there. We're actually live right now on LinkedIn. So thank you, LinkedIn, for hosting this, and appreciate it. And I create content that you can actually use, things that you can go and in the next few days. I hope that this gave you some idea that, you know what, I can do this. And if you have any questions, if you have any concerns, you can always call me. This is my number, my direct phone number. It's not an answering machine, answering service or anything. You will call and I will answer, or leave me a voice message and I will definitely get back to you. You can email me at johnhenrysoto@protonmail.com. You can find me on all social media platforms as John Henry Soto. And yeah, and I'm there. And I really appreciate your time. I appreciate that you've spent, if you're still here, you're serious about it. And if you're serious about it and you really want to have a conversation on how you can get to that next level, you can call me and we can discuss. I do work, you know, I can go in as a consultant. I can go in as a contracted employee, or I could just go in on a one day and do a presentation just like this for your real estate agents, you know, and I'll do that. And I'm a lot more funnier and animated, and I'm a little guy, so I'm kind of entertaining, but I love to do it. And I would love to actually help you get to the next level using social media content and video content. And that's why I'm here. So I want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart for staying here and tuning in. I appreciate it. I will see you all next Thursday. I'll be here again at 10 p.m. Eastern. Sorry, I used to live in the East. 10 p.m. Central, and I'll be here with more information on social media and video content and other things. Today was real estate agents. I love real estate agents. Get out there, get it done. 2022, your year. God bless you. Take care of yourselves. And as always, peace.